gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for coming out, everybody. What a beautiful city we have. Hey, who's ready for some good news? Are you ready for some good news? Oh, I am so ready for the good news. Listen, the tide is turning. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? The tide is turning. And I like to, as my friend says, I like to bring the receipts. I don't just say something without the proof. That is what your employer is trying to do. Your employer is trying to say that you are a direct threat to others. Let me know. Hold up your hand if you have personally killed at least 10 people by breathing on them. I want to see by a show of hands. No. Or how about 5 people? No? Did any of you land a coworker in the hospital by walking around with your body untainted and pure? No? Well, you know, Joey says that you're supposed to wear a raincoat so other people don't get wet. Did that sink in?
Yes.
You don't know the Joey I'm talking about, do you? He wants you to wear a raincoat. He wants you to be protected from the rain so that other people don't get wet. And beyond that, if you aren't wearing your raincoat, their raincoat doesn't work. It doesn't make sense, does it? None of this makes sense. That's why I call it hogwash. But the good news is, friends, the tide is turning. I'm about to hop on a live stream at around 6 o'clock, 6:30, with the nation's top OSHA experts. Who knows Tammy Clark and Kristen Megan? All right.
Oh,
She
yeah.
runs Stand Up Michigan. And I am going to be talking to them about the good news that is coming out of the state of North Dakota. Yesterday, and I hope you will join me every day at 3 p.m. on my YouTube channel called The Healthy American, and it is a live stream called Peggy to the Rescue. And yesterday I did an hour-long expose on OSHA. And the good news is, and the tide is turning, that there is a federal court ruling putting a pause on these emergency temporary standards. Now, let me explain exactly what that means. I'll give you an hour-long video in about 1 minute. OSHA is a federal agency. It actually has the authority to oversee workplace safety. And this was created like in the 1970s. And they have one general law, and it's actually called the general rule. It's very easy. Don't let your boss or anyone bamboozle you into thinking that this is complicated and confusing and you'll never be able to figure it out and I need an attorney to write my letters and all that. No, you don't. All you need is this flyer. And if you don't have this flyer, please get one from my wonderful first mate, Nari, and our helper here, Sophia, another Healthy American. It gives you the 5 steps that you need to do to get your religious exemption. The law is on your side. Would you repeat that with me? The law is on my side. The law is on my side. The law and God, right? God is on my side. Truth is on my side. And the Healthy American is on your side. And I'm going to help you with this. So OSHA does have the authority to do one thing and one thing only. And it is called the general rule. And some of you, anybody here work for OSHA? Anybody in your OSHA department? Anybody on your workplace safety committee at work? Well, what you do is you have to keep your workplace safe. It's called the general rule. Your employer is required to address any known hazard. Any known hazard. If somebody broke a glass, it has to be swept up. If you step on it, you slip and fall on something, they should have known and they are liable for that. Are you with me?
Yes.
OSHA does not make law. Please repeat after me. OSHA does not make law. OSHA does not make law. OSHA has no legal authority to make a law. What they can only do is to create regulations and rules to carry out that general rule, to carry out the law. And guess what? Do you know how long it takes to get a regulation, a new regulation passed through OSHA? Throw out a number. How long do you think it takes? A few months? Yeah, at least 5 years. It takes about 8 years on average because there are public hearings. What a concept that we get to go give our opinion. There are all sorts of educational studies that have to be done. They are looking for non-regulatory ways to actually accomplish what they could do without creating more rules. They hop, skipped, and jumped right over this with something called an emergency temporary standard. This might sound really weird, but it's important for you to know. And what that means is they threw out all of the regular rulemaking process because there's an emergency. And what the law says, and what I expose, and what we're going to continue to expose, and what these lawsuits are all about, is that it's very simple. There are 2 categories. There are 2 conditions that OSHA has to meet in order to jump over this 8 years of the regular regulatory process. Number one, there has to be a grave danger. Grave danger. Now, some people are digging their own grave by complying. Every step forward is digging your own grave. You know what? I've never even picked up the shovel. Ever. And I will be selling a t-shirt that says hashtag never have, never will. And I hope I'll be selling a lot of them. If I only sell about 5 or 6, that means I know only 5 or 6 people have never complied. And I'm one of them, and I know right here is one, right here is one. I know some that have been arrested and thrown into jail because they stand for their rights, their God-given rights. A right is something that cannot be taken from you.
That's right.
You friends, our rights are not being taken from us. Let that sink in for a moment. Your rights are not being taken from you. You are giving them away.
That's right.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Every compliance, every time you send your child to school, and we have wonderful parents here that I just met that are sending their children to school in a mask. Why? Oh, because the school said so. It doesn't matter. You're the parent, you stop it. Today, tomorrow your child is home. And to piggyback on what Mike was saying, we are running a program called Freedom Learning. It is teaching people how to get their kids out. It's a superior alternative to these public schools. Even if there was no mask, no testing, no vaccine, no critical race theory, your child is going to thrive in this type of environment that we promote. Let me get back to OSHA. A grave danger. How many people are dropping dead at your workplace? By the way, schools are a workplace. So those of you that have children at school, those of you that work at a school, even though it's a school, it is defined as a business. You get a paycheck, don't you, if you teacher? Anyone who gets a paycheck, you are an employee. And you are also protected under Title VII of the U.S. Civil Rights Act. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about this grave danger. OSHA can only hop, skip, and jump over the regulatory process if something is so horrible, people are dropping dead at work, they walk in, and they keel over, because you're standing there breathing oxygen. All of you silent
sick asses.
The issue is there's no proof. There is no proof.
No proof.
So there is no proof, there is no evidence of a grave danger. Now, so that's hurdle number one. They have to show that there's a grave danger. My situation is this, my view. If there was a grave danger, why are they waiting until January to implement it? So between now and then, it doesn't matter the people who die, like they were just out of luck. Sorry, you shouldn't have come to work until January. It doesn't make sense, does it? If it's a grave danger, why does it only apply to companies that have 100 or more? So 99 is the magic number. So no company with 99 people is ever going to have a danger? Doesn't make sense, does it? No, it doesn't. That's what's being fought in court right now. And the judge agreed that this doesn't make sense. The second hurdle is that these measures that OSHA is saying, having to be vaccinated or tested or banned from the workplace, do you know what the word is? The legal word that's in the law that says this is the only way OSHA can hop, skip, and jump over this 8-year process? It has to be necessary. 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 Now, I don't know about you, but my body is pure, never going to participate in any of that, and I'm still standing. In fact, I haven't participated in any of it for the last year and a half. In fact, I've probably hugged tens of thousands of people with all the events and things I've gone to. I felt fine. And you know what? Even if I didn't, that's my responsibility. It's not yours. Let me expose something else. There's this whole concept. We have to dig deeper. One of my ideas and ideals is just dig deeper. So even go beneath that layer that you thought you got to, you have to go to the basement. And you have to go to the basement of the basement. And you have to go under that foundation. So I'm thinking about all this, and I'm like, yeah, public health. What does that mean, public health? How can there be public health? Does that mean like if I'm tired, everybody else is tired too? You know, if I have a headache, someone else has to take aspirin? It doesn't make sense. There is no such thing as public physical health. Now, there can be an oil spill like there was in Orange County that affects the public. And I suppose if somebody goes in the water and they get sick, or a bunch of the public get going there, but that's more of a hazard. There's no such thing as public health, it dawned on me. So all of this is a bunch of hogwash. You are not responsible for my health. And if you are, would you please do more sit-ups? Come on, you guys. You're falling down on the job. So you know how ridiculous that is. But the good news is this. I wanted to bring you some good news. Courts are upholding the law. Now, that deserves some applause, doesn't it? Courts are upholding the law. I have some really good news beyond that. So right now, there is an injunction, a stay, which means a pause on these emergency temporary standards going forth. However, that doesn't stop your employer, does it? No. There is no, and please, you guys, would you pledge to me right now, here and now, that you will never use the M word? No, not the N word. I didn't say the N word. I said M. It's right before N. LM. Don't say the M word. Do you know what that is? Mandate. There's no such thing. Only a court can mandate your action. There's no such thing as a mask mandate, a vaccine mandate. Please don't give power to that word. You can call it an illegal measure. You can call it a ridiculous request. You can call it an unlawful policy. But please do not call it a mandate. You're giving power to where power does not exist.
Some light on her for change.
So the issue is this. The court is putting a pause, but your employers are still going to do it. In Orange County, there's no requirement for any business to make you wear a mask. But the businesses are making you wear a mask. Costco has been making you wear a mask. I tore up my card a long time ago because they were requiring this unlawful measure. Even though Orange County, where I live, never required it. That's called kicking the can down the road. It's done on purpose because the government has no authority to tell you what to do in that manner. So even if Osha does not go forward with this emergency temporary standard, your employer still is going to. And they're going to say, yeah, but we think you're dangerous. And I want everyone to grab this flyer. And if you don't have one, find someone who does and snap a photo of it on your phone, front and back. I've got 5 steps to get your religious exemption. You already are exempt. Repeat after me. I have a legal, federal, religious exemption. Legal, federal, religious exemption. It's legal because it's under Title VII. If you're an employee, if you're not an employee, you're exempt in the state of California under California Government Code. I believe it's 12471, 12472. I have all of that at the website at thehealthyamerican.org. The legislature of California is the only lawmaking body, and they clearly state that your authority to do what you want with your body is sovereign. You are the only person who has authority over your body, and you need to stand by that. Here's the really good news if you are an employee. And I'm about to reveal this when I get on the live stream. In these emergency temporary standards, and remember, schools are a workplace. In these emergency temporary standards, it will apply to your children because they're there at that workplace. All right? It says that, and I've been saying this for a year and a half. And I think Osha is listening. I know they're listening because they keep changing their website. When I expose something, CDC, I expose all this, and then I go, they're like, the link's not working. I'm like, I know. FDA, they're all doing it. That's okay. It means that we are exposing that. And they wrote a letter, a sample letter for employers. And do you know what that sample letter says? It says that your employees have the right to a religious exemption, not only for the vaccine, but for tests and masks. Are you with me? So, all right. I have said from day one that OSHA is going to be the knight in shining armor riding up on the white horse. Because OSHA is a government agency. They do have the authority to keep safety in the workplace. It's certainly not safe when people are dropping dead and having these blood clots throughout their entire body, like their capillaries have blood clots. Are you following me? They're going to live for a year or two. Their capillaries have blood. You know what capillaries are, the tiniest little blood ones. And they have blood clots. shot in your leg that you're going to take some, rat poison for that's going to dissolve. That's what blood thinners are. I'm talking about it's in your whole body. There is no recovery from that. That is not a safe workplace. But I'm here for good news. So the good news is the tide is turning. How many of you have gotten or have submitted for your exemption? All right, you guys. I had somebody come up to me here from Southwest with a big hug. She said, Peggy, your video saved our jobs. You are a hero to us over at Southwest. And I said, can I get a free upgrade to first class without a mask? The irony of it all, if you guys saw my video last year, I got kicked off of Southwest. Yeah, I got kicked off of Southwest way before these masks were even required, like way back in the beginning. It was the day before. It was like I flew on a Saturday and they were going to implement them on Monday. And they're like, oh, come this way, please. And I thought, oh, they have to check my paperwork. I had my exemption and all of that. And you know how they click, click, click on the little typing on the keyboard. And there I see the plane taking off. Oh, and I was supposed to be on that plane going to Sacramento for a rally against masks.
Oh my God.
The sad thing is, some of the people got on the plane to go to that rally wearing a mask. Yeah, I'm not going to name any names, all is forgiven. But I didn't hold a grudge against Southwest, and God used me to help them. So don't hold grudges. How many of you, by a show of applause, have lost a friend, not to this mystery disease, but because of a difference in ideology? Yes. How many of you have made new friends because of all of this? How many of you feel stronger, smarter, and better equipped going forward?
Oh, this is good.
Exactly how God wanted it. He has you here for this day, for this time, and you got this. You got this. And I want you to say, I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. And I want to help you. Go to thehappyamerican.org. I will see you all, everybody. God bless you. God bless America.